Chris Whittingham, who is not here because he's doing big Apple soccer things with his broadcasting career.
I mean, do it on one of the 4 days we had off, guy.
Exactly. Yep.
Wrote, just benignly, asked people on Twitter, what's the funniest thing from the sports weekend? And Kevin writes, not from the weekend, but it's funny that Le Batard lets you on air. You might be a great guy, but you're ruining the show.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Harsh.
For those of you criticizing Tony and Jessica and
sorry for tweeting that, by the way,
and Whittingham for ruining the show, it's an old school Tuesday. No Greg Cody, he'll be here tomorrow. No Ron McGill, he's on vacation.
I don't like his commitment. I got to be honest with you, and I know that it's not a good idea to take shots at Ron McGill, but like this guy is here sparingly at this point. You know what I mean? I get that we don't pay him anything.
Very
but
self-important at this point. I need to be at everything. I can't miss anything at the zoo. They got it.
Exactly right. I mean, let's be real. He's a PR guy. You know what I mean? Like, what does he have to be there for?
He's
surgeries?
Watching all the important shit get done at the zoo.
Taking pictures of it. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing to Ron right now? I'm just jumping on. We're just
You
having fun.
guys didn't want to go after Ron. You guys didn't want to go
But
after
you're
Ron.
going after him.
I would never, but I mean, come on, guy. It's 15 minutes every Tuesday. What are we doing here?
You got an accomplice in Chris Cody who immediately went right by your side to rip the beloved Ron McGill and the longest standing segment that we have in the show.
The actual animal doctors have to kind of roll their eyes when Ron walks in, right? Oh, here we go. Now it's all being documented.
Put it on the poll,
All about Ron again.
Put it on the poll, Juju.
Stands around us, gets all the credit. Yep.
Do the actual animal doctors get perturbed that Ron McGill is always sniffing around?
You don't think they get bothered? Like every time there's like something going on, it's like, oh my God, Ron McGill saved that eagle. They
Cancel all my meetings.
Ron saved the wing of that eagle. It's like, no, he took pictures.
You know how many zoos don't have their publicity departments getting them as much publicity as Ron McGill has, because he, at this point, he's bigger than the zoo. He's more associated with the zoo than the zoo.
Cancel all my meetings. I gotta take credit for saving this lion.
You're saying Ron is bigger than the actual zoo?
Yes, he's more famous.
That's debatable. I mean, Ron's bigger than a zoo?
Then
just ask him. What are we doing? I don't believe any of this. Dan, stop it.
Yeah, Dan, stop. Come on,
I can't believe
Dan.
he said these things.
He does us a favor every week, Dan. Jeez.
Billy is a bad influence.
Me.
Huge endowment.
Contribute to his huge endowment.
Nice car, that Ron. Zookeeper's salary.
Yeah.
A lot of dinners.
Bigger than the zoo. I mean,
the listeners have found a way to give him more than $1 million to his endowment. Cocaine Bear opens Friday.
You rang?
Who's ready? Who's ready for Cocaine Bear? It sounds good in theory. I feel like 10 minutes into Cocaine Bear.
That was my nickname in Park City.
Well, here, tell me about this trip. I want to hear. Many people are saying that the funniest thing from the sports weekend is how bad our audio was. We fired the production team in Utah, which I don't even understand what that means. We're never going to Utah again to do anything. Why would we need a production team there again?
I'm telling you, though, even though a lot of people missed it, we put on a great show for that hour.
You guys missed a great
show.
You
guys missed some good stuff.
We were very comfortable.
We were cooking. Just with no heat.
Yeah, with no audio, no food. You were cooking with no food.
Rudy Gay was excellent. Take my word for it.
How was the weekend? I heard you mumbling under your breath that you've never had to work so hard to have a mediocre time.
Yeah. That pretty much wraps it up. It was a long 3 months in Utah for us, but I'm glad to finally be back home.
You got Rudy Gay?
Yeah, he was great.
Gay or nay?
I mean, no, I didn't think about gay or nay.
Yeah.
No, he just spent time blaming my shoes.
Well, Tony's walking in right now. Roy's a little late. Tony looks a little sad. And Billy, who was following this actively as an anarchist on social media.
Supporter.
Well, you say supporter, but you also say that Tony did nothing but take L's all weekend.
Oh, yeah, rough weekend for Tony.
Just literally walked in.
Lots of L's. You look sad. Are you okay? I don't know why we're doing this to you right now.
I have no voice.
Are you doing a Doc Rivers impression again that we sent you over there to do?
I don't want to deal with this today.
He hasn't had his voice since Saturday.
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
I thought the microphones were off. Now you couldn't speak.
It's happened to me, man. There's something about this cold weather. It gets your voice. It gets you.
It got his soul, it looks like. I've never seen your eyes that dead. I mean, they're usually somewhat
Well,
dead, but
he
not that dead.
does seem sad, wounded. So what happened this weekend? Explain to me, Billy,
Tony taking L's. It's just, and he seems to be in not a good mood, so I don't know that this is the moment.
It's fine, Billy. What do you want to tell me?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Take L's.
Talk
okay.
like that forever,
for
man.
the self-proclaimed fashionable guy in this room. I mean, I was seeing some outfits and I was like, geez, what are we doing here? The first day when you're doing that thing, it looked like you were trying to sell everybody Jackson chains. Or like you were dressing like Drake or something. I don't know what that look was about. And then the shoes with the white socks and the capris, like, what was that?
Fashion.
Well said.
I think that Tony, this is a good career pivot for you, bro.
I'm telling you, Dan. He's got to stay with this voice.
It's not just the voice, though. Sad broadcaster who whispers his thoughts apathetically
Dan,
and defeated.
I'm not sad, Dan. I just can't talk.
He couldn't be happier.
I just walk in. First thing I have is 8 people telling me I took L's. Okay, I can't defend myself. I
It's
can't
not-
even talk.
it's not
I'll give you
8
one dub.
people.
No,
It's-
no, I'm on your side. Yeah, we got some dubs.
Guys, I'm fine.
You squeezed in a few dubs before you lost your voice.
That is true.
Let's play the sound of Charles Barkley ripping Utah. People were really enjoying all the coverage from Shaq and Barkley. I don't know that anyone, I think it might be Mac McClung and Barkley and Shaq who won the weekend and nobody else. But here's Charles Barkley just ripping Utah.
Courtesy of TNT.
Chuck, I've been struggling this week and I ain't got no hoop. These people going to heaven up this way. Ain't nothing to do with this boring ass city. Now it's boring? It's boring. Ain't nothing to do with it. Was great. You just it's a great city. No, you just was like, these people, ladies, hey, it's a great city, but ain't nothing to do here. These people all going to heaven. Oh, my gosh. I never ate so much room service in my life. Can't smoke, can't drink. These people going to heaven.
Shaq tried to get going a "Chuck, you suck" chant. It turned on him, and everybody started chanting, "We love Chuck."
Never had so much room service in all my life. It's a great line.
How bad was it?
Why are you guys so mean to Salt Lake City?
Oh, this is rich.
Look, I thought it looks nice there.
It's pretty.
The mountains,
It's pretty.
It's very aesthetically pleasing.
If I were outdoorsy, I would have a much better time. But I'm a city slicker and a Miami guy, and all that comes with that, Dan. And it's just Salt Lake and Miami are kind of polar opposites in many ways.
I thought that they had a great underground late night. This was 20 years ago, but a late night underground for
Thanks for the invite.
for people who don't practice.
They don't, man. They don't, man. I looked everywhere. I went everywhere. I scoured all of Salt Lake City, Utah. When my cab pulled up to like a tent city, I was like, leave me here. There's got to be a good edgy bar around here. It was just, there's nothing really for me there.
Tony whispering, sad guy, your thoughts on the weekend?
Dan, again, I'm not sad. I don't know why you keep saying I'm sad. I'm not sad. We had a great weekend. We went bobsledding. What else did we do?
The bobsledding.
We sent you out there to bobsled.
The bobsledding
trying
was
to think what else we
awesome.
do.
The bobsledding was awesome. There was only one thing wrong with the bobsledding. It lasts 46 seconds.
Right.
Then you have to figure out
45
what.
for us.
Yeah, 45,
Damn it.
45.9. Yeah, well,
Mike went to the Sizzler.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Yeah, Juju and I went for lunch. We were the
Still
first
good?
ones there.
Sizzlers are still doing it?
So
I love a
Put
sizzler.
it on the poll. I
mean,
used to love a Sizzler, but it was in 1980.
I couldn't believe it. So Juju and I get to our hotel. Juju does some editing. We get settled in, and we're the only ones there for a little bit. And we look at what the happening bar is around the hotel. It's an Applebee's. So we hop in the Uber, and we're on our way to Applebee's. And then off in the distance, on the horizon, we see Sizzler. And Utah, Salt Lake City, is a lot of desert. Yeah, there's snow, but it's a desert. So I thought this might have been a mirage. But no, as we got closer, this was indeed a legit Sizzler. We told the Uber driver to hang a right while she was at the furthest left lane. Tire screeching, pull into Sizzler. This Sizzler was packed. I walked into 1987.
That's so great. Is the salad bar still wonderful?
Yeah, the salad... Dude, they play fast and loose with the term salad over there. There were hot wings. There was a taco station, fondue, ice
wow.
cream.
So Sizzler,
ribs, yeah.
So it's
Sizzler
Golden
has-
Corral now.
Yeah, the salad bar. It was like thoroughly mediocre, like all of Utah. But it was I got ID'd 3 times for a Miller Lite. For one. There's there's layers of bureaucracy to get drinks
to get
there.
a beer.
You have to check your ID every time. The look that I got when I asked for a double, Dan, they won't do that. But I found the hack: beer and a shot. So that's what you got to do. That one's on the house. That tip: beer and a shot, which would twist you up even more.
We
because
found
you're mixing-
Flanagan's.
Yeah, we found a Flanagan's at Park City.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, no
You're
Red
lying.
Bulls. It was called Flanagan's.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
A lot of beer and shots.
Green
yeah.
cups.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatard Show. Are you surprised there are layers of bureaucracy to get a beer in Utah?
Are you surprised there's a Sizzler in Utah?
Well, I want to talk a little more about this because Sizzler was the most grandiose thing in my childhood. I did not know we were poor.
I mean, inflation hit the Sizzler. Let me tell you, those prices
it
were.
sounds like progress has hit the Sizzler. If you're telling me their salad bar, it was majestic in 1980. Now you're telling me they've added all the things that don't make it salad. That it's just a buffet.
No, the salad there is really just a garnish for all the protein.
So Sizzler was the highlight of Utah and bobsledding?
It was certainly the highlight of Friday. Sizzler and bobsledding, the 45 seconds that we spent bobsledding respectively, and the Sizzler salad bar, and maybe the Park City Flanagan's. That's the medal stand right there for
You
Friday.
guys got free shoes, it seemed. Like multiple pairs.
Yeah, but I
And
got
we
free
went
shoes
to-
everywhere.
You saw Fat Joe. You seemed to be at a party.
The highlights were the multiple open bar parties that we went to. That's what made this. We went on a great weekend.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
it was
had
awesome.
That's what the thing I would say about Salt Lake City is if you don't have NBA All-Star Weekend, woof.
Yeah. If you're not going to a Fat Joe concert or a Balmain party, then I would just say don't go.
I want to ask you guys how long it took before you got the 45 seconds of bobsledding pleasure, because I don't know if bobsledding would classify, but the water flume for me is the worst payoff for the greatest expenditure when you have to climb to the top of a water flume and it takes you a very long time to do it. A ski lift is something similar. How long did it take before you got what you found to be an unsatisfying bobsledding payoff?
No, the bobsledding was awesome. The bobsledding
No,
was
but
great.
I'm
in the
saying how
Olympic
much
Village.
time is there in training, in going through
Waiting in
procedure,
line.
going
They slap a helmet on you and say, "Hold on."
Yeah.
Really?
They just squeeze the 4 of us.
I
into
was
this.
the back door.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of great for Mike was the front, so Mike could actually see. I was just staring at the back of Juju Gotti's helmet the whole time. And it's just basically like going really fast, turn, going really fast, turn. It is just, it's like, it's a blur. It's fun to say you did it, but in it, it's just shaking, looking at Juju's head, shaking, looking at the back of Juju's head, turn, shaking, looking at the back of Juju's head, and we're done. And I was like, all right, I bobsledded.
So 60 seconds.
How did it go that you got selected strategically to be the back?
He was scared. He didn't want to be the front.
I was more. I seemed to be the most trepidatious of the group.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like,
not
put me
stop
wherever.
him from reciting every single line in Cool
Oh,
Runnings.
I mean, you
No,
have
of
to.
course not.
You have to. I had a lucky egg.
You did.
Yeah.
Put it
I
on
wanted-
the
I
poll,
didn't.
please, Juju.
When in Rome.
When bobsledding, do you have to recite the lines from Cool Running?
The people that work there definitely aren't tired of those
No,
references.
not at all.
Woof.
Wait, Chris, you were nervous to sit in the front of the bobsled?
No, I was just nervous in general because they were like, you're going to be going 80 miles an hour. And I'm like,
In a
who's...
tin can.
And then it's luckily we have drivers. So it's like a driver who knows what he's doing and then us three. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking Mike was going to be driving.
No, I wasn't. I was behind the driver, and Chris was. He had some reservations for it, so the way that it kind of got worked out was the people with the least trepidation. I was just like, yeah, I'll do the front. It wasn't a big deal.
I was like, I don't want to watch someone do this. I was like, me and Juju were like, no, we're going first. I'm not watching someone do this and then doing it because we were kind of, yeah. It's fast, man.
Is there a bronze medalist for time in Utah after bobsledding and the Sizzler?
oh, Fat
The
Joker.
show that no one heard.
No, well, the show was really good. And if you go back on YouTube, I think you can hear it now. So there's that.
They fixed the sound 4
Yeah.
days later.
But you're not sure.
The
Yeah, I
fired
watched some of it
production
back.
crew.
It was when you're in it, everyone's super panicked, and then it's pretty manageable. We put a good show out
Like you
there.
can hear it, it's just not great quality audio. Like you can make out most of what we're saying.
Okay, so we are an audio company, and
Usually it sounds like me, dude. Oftentimes. Well, it's like Rudy Gay talking about his Achilles injury.
But yes, Fat Joe was awesome. That
What do
was
you mean
really
he was
cool.
awesome?
I mean, it was just like an intimate, like there was
was
like maybe
great.
150 people there,
Yeah,
but
and
we
he
were
was
right at
super
the
into
front.
It wasn't like a dude just cashing a check that's just going through the motions. It was banter. We were right up in the front.
Responsibly.
He kept saying bet responsibly, which was wonderful. He played all his hits. And for a brief moment there, I didn't know that I was in Utah.
You felt for a moment or for 90 minutes, you were
40 minutes.
at an intimate, okay, half of
Yeah,
that.
40 minutes.
But
But,
it was
he
in-
squeezed in all the tracks in 40 minutes.
That's where Tony lost his voice, we think.
I think I might have lost my voice during Make It Rain.
Were there any other shows? Because you guys, it sounds like you went to an intimate party if you got 150 people at Fat Joe concert. When I've gone to these things in the Super Bowl, the best parties have these intimate performances for not that many people. That's a legitimately good party if he's performing.
Yeah, but then it wrapped up, and we're like, what are we going to do for the rest of the night?
And we
Because
went to my
everyone's-
ex's house.
Then we went to my ex's house. That's the name of the bar.
I get it.
Yeah, it's the name of the bar. And that was cool until 1 a.m. last call.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
It's one of those places.
Yeah, it's an after. Well, that's an after-hours place in
That is
Utah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
1 a.m. last call, and they kick you out.
It's the whitest place I've ever walked into.
Yeah, but Juju went to like a party with Evan Turner and all the NBA All-Stars.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Travis Scott performed.
Yeah, Travis Scott, he was there with like Drewski and
Yeah.
Travis
I played-
Scott and a bunch of other
But how did he get in there and none of you were?
Well,
in?
he also
He's
put in the
Juju.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went to a
he's-
different Uber.
Yeah, we went to a different Uber, and also Juju's got this thing about him where if you pass by him in a hall, people think, like, what do I know that guy from? That guy has to be somebody. He has to be somebody. So that dude gets so many daps and people pretending like they know him, and there's so many times that we're like, who's that? And Juju's like, I don't know.
You believe that he got into cooler Utah parties?
He
Well, no.
definitely did, but he had to put in the work.
Well,
for one of
Amin,
those
I think
parties.
Amin and him they got hooked up to get in.
Yeah, but Amin, I think, left because he's like, we're waiting
He's
too
old.
long. Yeah.
Well, no, they both got in, and Amin was in there and was like, "This is a club. I'm old."
Amin has really aged in the last 5 years.
I mean, Glass House much?
Yeah, me too. No,
Yeah. I mean, we all
Apparently me
had
too.
Three.
Boy, the
Yeah.
pandemic was rough,
I am not
and so is
objecting.
that Dead and Company tour.
I
Oh, boy.
just
Got me good.
I have Chicago every weekend is not good for Stugotz.
no.
I
The
see,
Windy
I,
City.
I see on his hands the frost.
Oh,
Like,
my
he-
God. They're
he's-
killing me.
Just from being in the studio today.
You are correct that the precipitous aging of me and Stugotz over the last 4 years has been alarming, but we are in our 50s.
Yeah.
Amin is not yet washed, but he's got kids and a pandemic and late 30s and jumping from ESPN.
Late 30s?
Well, he's now early 40s, but I'm just saying the time that he was aging at a decade per year was the ages 39, 40, and 41.
He went to high school with God Shamgod.
Amin is the guy at anything NBA though. Like he knows everybody.
Oh, he's got so much credibility in
He's
that
the guy
sport.
that you want to hang. Like if I'm following Amin, if you want to like be in all the places,
he's a grandpa, though. There's
right?
The thing is,
he'll
that
get you in and then he'll leave.
it's not just that he'll get you in. It's everyone respects Amin because they know his story in the NBA, and he's got whatever the equivalent is of street credibility in that sport, which is not just credibility, but it's credibility. Not you were a big shot and you made it your own way and you did it your own way, and we like your style and you're rebellious, and they feel like they know him. And he came in through the front offices, and they respect that he did the dirty work of cutting film to make your way through the NBA, and then got out, but stayed close enough to it to be good at the parties, but then lame by 11 p.m. because he's got kids and he's washed.
No, he taps in. He finds second wins. Maybe not for Travis Scott, but Amin's a grinder, man.
I think he was defeated by what happened the last year that he was at the All-Star game when they made a lot of
the Puma
content.
party. He tapped in. He
Drunk
found the second
Amin
win.
met Drunk Chris for the first time. We
Yeah.
shook hands. It was like,
Oh.
"Hello, good to meet you." I know, because we've
Same
been
room,
around
huh?
each other, but like Drunk Amin, like they're different people, and they've never met. So we shook. We got a whole picture together. It was great.
You were beardless at this point,
Yeah.
and you're trying to grow it back quickly. You've got
Yeah.
patches of red on your
I
face
said on
right now.
Friday night that I would pay $500 to instantly have it back right now. Like I would have done that at the time.
That's not that bad.
Because you felt like you were hiding.
It's
I
just
know
I
that
just
feeling.
prefer the beard. That's it. Like everyone,
We all
and then
do.
You
like
feel
I
naked
said,
without it.
I
huh?
said this on the
Yeah.
YouTube show that no one heard, but it's the patronizing. The patronizing, you look fine afterwards from all like the DraftKings employees that I didn't love.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Oh.
just like, hey, it looks real. Like I swear, and it's just like, just don't say anything. Just
Right.
let me be.
You're telling me it looks terrible.
right. Like
By the way, shout out to Dollar Shave Club and that razor because
so good.
I'll say this. I was watching it and I thought that you were being shaved with the razor being used backwards. And it was still, you still got a clean cut.
delightful experience getting shaved by Dollar Shave Club. Honestly, like I barely felt it. But
Until
I still miss
afterward,
my beard.
when the DraftKings people were lying to you. You could feel their lies
Yes.
of you look fine,
Yes.
and you're like, you're being insincere.
Right.
You're like a mirror right now, and I hate myself. My face is.
You ever
doesn't-
seen that video where the bear in the woods sees himself for the first time and freaks out? That was me on the show when I like just pulled my phone. I was like, all right, it just happened. Let's see. I pull my it was oof.
Having walked through that event beforehand and knowing that Chris was already preparing himself for the insincere "you look fines," when he came up to me, I'm like, I'm not gonna front. You look pretty terrible. You're bad. You're bad.
Sideburns work though.
Yeah, the
Sideburns.
No,
mutton
they don't.
chops,
No, they don't.
No,
Okay.
they don't.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, they don't.
None of it works.
tried.
None of it.
I
None
mean,
of
just
it.
be
The whole
honest
face-
with a
The whole
Roy.
face
I
doesn't
mean,
work, and you need the hair to grow back as quickly as possible to hide as much surface area as you can.
If only that was the most embarrassing thing that happened to me at that DraftKings party.
What happened?
I had a moment with Rudy Gay after it. So we have this moment with Rudy Gay. He's on with us for 45 minutes. We're having fun with the beard thing. For this one night only, Rudy Gay knows me, right? We had just done the thing. So after Fat Joe's about to go on, this is probably 2 hours after all that, after the shave. So I'm like, still have this connection with Rudy Gay.
But this is as cool as you've ever been right here, right?
Oh, that's debatable. But so Rudy
wait a
Gay.
minute.
Oh,
When-
high school. Give
when
the
have
man
you-
some respect.
Wait, when have you been cooler?
High school was the coolest he's
Well,
ever
just-
been.
BMOC in high
Yeah,
school.
top 5 cool moments
Yep.
for Chris Cody.
No, let's
Yes.
just stay
Chris
right here.
Coolty.
So Rudy Gay
When
disappears.
have you been cooler than standing between Rudy Gay and Fat Joe
That's
at
true.
a party of 100 people?
No, you're right. It was a cool party to be at. So Rudy Gay emerges back into the crowd right before Fat Joe goes on. And I'm like, oh, Rudy's there. Like, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, I gotta know him. So, and he glances over in my direction, and I'm like, oh, he's looking at me. So I just throw him. I'm like, what's our connection here? How does he know me? The beard thing. So I do this move where I'm like, huh? Like I'm just trying to connect
no.
with Rudy Gay. I'm like rubbing my face, just like, oh, beard. And then I quickly realize about 3 seconds into rubbing my beard that Rudy Gay is looking over my head at somebody else, that tall guy that was there, some other basketball player. So like all of a sudden, some guy comes walking past me to Rudy Gay of like, oh, these two were looking at each other. That was really embarrassing. But I'm like, you know what? He was looking over me. He didn't notice it. This is only embarrassing for me. You're fine.
Did any of us, though?
Just
did
wait.
anyone
Just
in the
wait.
group notice
And
it?
then like 2 or 3 minutes later, after I'm finally coming down from the shame of like, okay, he didn't see it. I'm the only one that felt that. The guy had walked away from Rudy Gay. So now Rudy Gay, I catch eye contact with him and he does this to me. So it's
Sides of his
like
face.
he hammers home.
Explain that. Thank you, Mike.
I'm here for you, audience.
He hammers home the fact that I saw this incredibly embarrassing moment for you. And I feel so bad that a couple minutes later, I wanted to find your eyes and let you know, hey, yeah, your beard.
No, I need
It was
to
the
examine
lowest
this
moment of
more.
my life. It was like, oh my God.
It is great that you went from your coolest moment to your worst moment, but I need to examine some more things here. Because for the audience that cannot see this, a maniacally grinning, red-faced, on top of freckles, Chris Cody is trying to connect with Rudy Gay. They don't know each other. They're trying to build a bridge, and Chris Cody wants to be as cool as he was seconds ago between him and Fat Joe. Maybe I'll get whisked away to Juju's party with Amin, the better party in Utah. And Chris Cody rubs the side of his face joyfully with a big smile on his
Trying
face.
to connect with him. Like, hey, remember me?
With both hands, he's caressing his own face, and it had to look to Rudy Gay like you were flirting with him. Because
You're taking it to another level.
I-
Whatever, too far.
the look
I mean,
on,
I was.
The look on
That's too far.
the look on
Baby.
your face was so happy to see him And if he didn't understand what you were doing or didn't remember you from shaving, there's that guy, and that's how he says hello.
It could be worse, honestly, because like Rudy
Thank you,
Gay,
Billy.
Rudy Gay, I looked it up. Is 36, so he's like roughly your age, a year older than you, whatever, right? It would be worse if this is like a 22-year-old basketball player who's like just mocking you. Like,
See,
look at this old man.
That's why I think he felt compassion for me. Like that, he connected. He was like, a couple minutes ago, that guy had a really embarrassing moment. So let me find him and be like, hey, I saw you. Like, and it's like, don't do that to me because now you're letting me know that you saw this
But that was
embarrassing
kindness
moment.
or pity? You were
Kindness.
taking.
It was definitely a pity of let me go back and just like connect with this guy because he looked like an idiot a minute ago.
Wait a second. Rudy Gay and Chris Cody are the same age?
That's why.
No
Tony,
way. That can't be
Tony,
true.
I need you to keep this voice
That can't
forever.
be true.
You intruding on
Dan,
the show.
I need to be on voice rest. That's what the doctor told me yesterday.
McGillicuddy.
Doctor.
Why'd you go to a doctor for losing your voice?
Because I had other things happening.
Now that took a dark turn.
Oh,
Can we
it's-
just go back
I
to
have
Tony
phlegma, Dan. I have
sticking his
phlegma. That's
beak
why I had to
in
go to
the
the doctor.
sticking his beak in the
Vaporu?
show,
But
whispering.
it doesn't work. It's not a voice
That's a
thing.
lie.
No, it's not a voice thing. It got for the congestion.
Tony didn't have a sip of alcohol the entire trip.
I've been sober all 23.
I was like, how is this happening?
Well, Utah.
So you just lost your voice at a Fat Joe concert?
Yeah, I guess. There's a lot of things that were happening. The show happened, and then 30 minutes after, I'm singing Make It Rain, and then boom, gone.
Joey Crack.
Yeah, Joey Crack. Exactly. Thank you, Stu. Josh Giddey was there, too. Yeah. Me and him were dressed exactly the same.
Tony,
How
how were
embarrassing
your
for him.
how were your experiences
first.
there? Because I cannot get enough of interviewing Broken Tony.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds so much different, and you're not supposed to be working today. You're playing it. You're playing through injury.
Thank you,
That's
Tony.
right.
Thank you, Tony.
Sorry, guys. I'm here for you.
Way to go, Tom.
Oh, Billy doesn't. Billy, what's
It's
the
okay.
problem?
Why
I'm
can't
not
you
here-
work?
I'm not here to argue with Billy today.
Because we work in a talk. Like, you have to talk.
That's
a
a Tony
communication,
show. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Okay, Dan, what do you want to talk about?
I want to know. I don't know whether Billy wanted to be on this trip or didn't want to be on this trip. Billy
didn't
had a
wanna be
very
here.
different experience
wanna
at the
be here.
Super Bowl. Mike wanted to be at the Super Bowl, but was instead in Utah. And
I will say this. A lot of people came up to me, Mike and Chris, Juju, Amin, everybody was like, how did you guys draw the short straw? We're like, what do you mean? Like,
Why weren't you at the Super Bowl?
why
Why'd
weren't
you
we at the
guys
Super
choose
Bowl?
here?
Yeah, we're like, well, we didn't choose. It chose us.
that is how that happened. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It was unfortunate, but
Is this Feldman and Sales' fault?
no. Like Feldman and Sales knocked it out the park. They were very happy with us, and thank you to everybody that signed up for that. We really impressed
We
our
broke
partners.
records.
Yeah, we broke records with the signups for the
Imagine
Dollar
if we
Shave
had
Club.
audio.
Well, but for the sign up for the 10-day Tony versus Chris Cody Dollar Shave Club shooting and skills challenge.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
lot.
Tony,
That was
that-
hard.
Tony
I
wasn't
can't believe I
taking-
didn't mess that one up while I was sipping on tequila.
Tony was not taking L's this weekend competing at basketball with you guys.
No. Tony he is who he says he is.
Really?
Yeah, no, Tony's the truth on the court.
Legit
Well, no, it's
good?
Paul Pierce, but he's pretty good.
He's
Chris
him.
Jr.
Yeah.
He's
Against
not-
you guys, though. I mean,
No, he's got a good looking shot. I mean,
No, it's against better people too.
okay.
Tony's good.
He played against Fab Mello.
Yeah, but
Well, let's see me in top 5. I gotta find him.
What is your top? Oh, your top
was it?
five.
and then Fat Mellow.
Fab Mello was 4. Yakuba Diawara was 3.
Rest your
Yakuba was
voice,
good.
Tony. You don't need to do this today. Rest
No,
your
you-
voice.
we-
The
Carlos
doctor
Alvarez
said
was-
you can't do a top 5 today.
No, he didn't say that.
Tony, I'm
Hardaway Jr.
telling you that we will do a top 5 here, and you have earned it by
he was
toughing.
rehashing it.
The doctor did.
That's okay. We'll do it again by toughing it out today. You are brave, and Billy is trying to undercut you.
Yeah, he
But
is.
you-
The guy's
but-
eating a bagel over here.
Yes.
I wish I could eat a bagel. The doctor told me don't eat bagels.
Oh my God.
Billy, he's really suffering today, and all you do is come at him. But he was good at basketball this weekend, and he's
Everybody was really good at everything, especially
except
Juju.
the audio.
Well, except for the audio, which again, like go back and check it out. It's not nearly as bad as it felt like when we were in there. I'm not gonna front though; it was pretty bad. But we did good content out there. I was really happy. Juju made me laugh so hard on social media because of what happened to Tony's voice. Juju was really amplified on his social media presence, and I really enjoyed all of that. I think the highlight of the weekend was just hanging out with my guys because I knew that I would have a good time with them. So I was deeply appreciative of that. That and on the metal stand is the bartender shouting from across the bar, "Hey, XFL, you want another beer?"
Okay, we'll get to your XFL obsession from the weekend at some point during the show. But I just want to talk more for a second with Tony about what his weekend was, because we've had some struggles at Meadowlark beyond the audio, just trying to get a bunch of infrastructure around what we're doing. And this year's All-Star game, even without the functioning audio and a fired production team, was better than the content from last year's All-Star game.
Well, I mean, that's a different story, Dan. That's apples and oranges. This one we were not embargoed from by the city that we were doing content in. Obviously, last year we had the situation with Cleveland. They embargoed all of our content.
Wait a minute. I don't know what happened. I know that you guys went to Cleveland
last year was like Cuba.
Yeah.
Well, why
last
didn't
year
we report
Cleveland
this?
embargoed the
Not at
Cuba
all.
because
Why didn't
Havana, Ohio.
Okay, why didn't we not report that last year you guys were blocked by the NBA from making content?
No, we're not the NBA.
All I saw
City
was
of Cleveland.
Tony, please stop being defensive in whatever voice it is you're using.
It's my regular one. Oh my God, left hand.
The last year's content was you and Amin, and there was somebody wearing sheets and giggles and a blanket, and that's what we put out for content. This year, we sent a whole team to bobsled, and you guys had a great time in a mediocre town with questionable audio, and you've come back, and your voice is wrecked. Your weekend was tough because you were shouting too much around Fat Joe?
I don't know if it was shouting much around Fat Joe as much as the cold and dryness. I'm a warm weather climate guy, papi, soy cubano, tú sabes. So la cosa es que cuando estamos ahí, está muy seco y está muy frío, papi. So la voz mía is supposed to be in warm weather climate. So what the problem is that the dryness of Utah mixed with my Cuban voice box.
That's what happened.
It doesn't mix well.
That's what happened.
And the Cuban links that you were wearing were probably crushing your vocal cords.
It was the turtleneck and the Cuban link was a little tight. That's when I started feeling it. But
you were
shout out to Big Waz. I was telling him. Shout out to Big Waz. That's my boy. I was telling Big Waz. Excuse me. I was getting emotional. I think I'm the only Cuban to wear a Cuban link in Utah's history. So I'm very proud of that.
Nah, Pitbull had to tour it.
Yeah, but I was there first.
Billy.
You were not to Utah.
I don't think
before
Pitbull's ever
Pitbull.
performed in Utah.
He has performed
Outside of
absolutely everywhere.
this weekend.
Wasn't he there this
He was there
weekend?
this
You don't
weekend,
have
but I
to be
was there
defensive
first.
about this too.
I'm not being defensive. I was there on Thursday. Pitbull
Billy.
got in Saturday.
There has
LeBron
never
got in Sunday for the game.
Tony, shut up for a second.
He's rolling, Dan.
Imagine if the doctor didn't tell him he couldn't speak.
Papi, la cosa está activa.
Billy, your I don't think anyone's had a more efficient synopsis of any human being around here when you said it's not the Tony Show, but it's always the Tony Show.
Not like my wife.
Billy, he is Cuban. He is
Doing those jokes now.
Tony, Billy, Tony is, how old are you, Tony?
31.
Okay, so this thing is a style.
Wow.
This thing, okay, because we've got a lot of dads around here all of a sudden, like Amin included, Grandpa Amin included. You were going to a pretty cool thing for you, right? Like this is to be able to be around the All-Star game and these people that you admire when you've dedicated yourself to being good at basketball. Like this is a big weekend for you, correct?
It feels like we're all just one big family, just enjoying the game of basketball. I was with Juju filming when he was talking to Anthony Edwards, and he was saying that he just loves when he sees a basketball, he just feels happy. And I kind of have the same feeling where when I see a basketball, when I'm around other hoopers and people that
All-stars.
love the game, not all stars, but other people that love the game, it makes me happy. So I was very excited to be around those people. Dan.
But it's also a style contest, is it not? This is what Chris Cody was afraid of.
It's a very fashion forward weekend where if you can take some hacks fashion wise and certain people can get away with it somewhere where you wouldn't find those hacks being taken on a regular day. So the weekend is very fashion forward. Obviously you saw Janelle Monáe with the Astro Boy boots, but she had like the cloud ones. Those are fire.
Your
by the
voice
way.
is finding its wings.
It is. It's fire because the more I talk, the more I can.
But your doctor said not to
No,
talk
but the
too
warm
much.
weather, Dan.
Yeah, he's back in Miami. Yeah, exactly.
It's so stressful, the fashion. What happened to the collared shirt?
That shit is dead.
You're right, Chris.
That shit is dead. Nobody wears collared shirts anymore. Throw that shit away.
That's so good. I'm just sitting here wearing a collared shirt. Chris, but
Bring
how
it
did
back,
you feel?
Jack.
Chris, how did you feel? So now you've shaven, you're naked of the face, and you're walking around and you feel a bit outclassed by just what everyone is wearing?
I feel like I faked it enough to just not get noticed. Like, I had decent shoes on.
I'll tell you what saved you was the shoes.
I had shoes. My
Every
shoe
time.
game has
Yep.
been elevated, so I got a few compliments on the shoes.
But the win for
It's
you.
still just, I hated every moment of
You
it.
were
I hated
you
getting
were
dressed. I was like, this is like, I'm looking at myself in the
I
mirror.
wouldn't
I'm like,
have cared.
who am I? Who have you become? I did a TikTok dance.
What was that about?
I don't know what's happening to me. I felt I looked good. I'm like, what do you do when you look good? A TikTok dance.
It's
All right,
the
good.
shoes.
Yeah.
It's the shoes. But you're just longing for the days of Dockers and a polo.
Plus,
Uh,
I just monetized my Instagram, so I'm trying to get those real
yeah,
views
get
up.
the subs.
Yeah.
So is that what people will get, more TikTok dances on your Instagram?
I don't know, man. Apparently, the reels is where it's at. So,
Chris, use your body as humor. Use your body as humor, and you can win in this space because you.
I'll subscribe right now. Do me. We've tried this before though. Show me your belly button.
I will for the
Okay,
subscribers.
well, Chris Cody, this is we will create an OnlyFans, something similar for you. I'm telling you, we can get a lot of people here. We can actually fill your bank account with people supporting your look. But you're saying,
It's just $4.99 a month. What a bargain.
Chris Cody, you're saying that your entire attitude when you left the hotel room, whatever clothes was on your bed,
Nobody look at me.
taken out of the duffel bag, it's survive in advance.
Go unnoticed.
So you
Have
are-
no one say a single word to me about my outfit the entire weekend.
Good or bad?
Right, well, good. Yeah, I mean, good would be fine, but I'm not going for that. I'm just going to get by.
Right.
Like,
Get
I
to
just
the
want
next
someone.
morning.
I just
Right.
want someone to look at me and not stop and just be like, "All right, there's a guy with clothes on." Like just no thoughts.
But
Just
so much of that weekend is people trying to be seen because of what they're wearing, confidently, sexually.
yeah,
Like-
not me.
I'm subscribed. That was so quick and easy.
Yes, my man.
Belly
All right,
button.
let's do this.
Later on, I'll show you my refrigerator. That's
I'm
the first
telling
thing
you,
I'm
Chris
showing
Cody,
people.
there is a gold mine here for you. Please support Chris Cody's comedy stylings as he tries to be aggressively mediocre fashion-wise. Because he did. He was bragging last week about how he's got a better shoe game because he's been with Juju and Tony, and now he feels like he's a better person. He's judging other people whose sneakers aren't as
You
good
do
as
feel
his.
better when I look at somebody else and I'm like, that guy doesn't have any J's on. What a loser.
There's status at the All-Star
You're
game.
judging people now.
Yes, as he's
Come
ju-
on.
as
Like
he's
we were
just
in a thing where we were making fun of Mike's shoes, and I was like, usually I'm the guy who gets made fun of. Like I was like, I actually thought Mike's shoes were all right. See, I don't know anything about fashion.
You should check the price on StockX right now for those air wheat
They've
loaves.
gone up since Mike
$1
wore
and
them.
$60.
Before we get out of the local hour, I wanted to talk.
Rudy Gay walked in, looked at my shoes. He's like, I thought I smelled bread.
That's
Air
not.
baguettes.
That is not true. That is.
From the air baguettes.
Why was Rudy Gay there?
I was there on behalf of the Dollar Shave Club. So
Oh.
money,
Okay,
paycheck,
good.
paycheck. But he was. I tell you, it's kind of wild to see Rudy Gay all of a sudden become the old guy. So we talked to him a lot about that, and then I worked in a couple of very subtle questions about his grooming habits.